All right, speculators, let's fire up the TDG Futures Fanatic live stream for the afternoon of Thursday, February 12th, 2026. Hope you've all had a good trading session thus far. Excuse me. As you see from the headline, hit my DRB in a few accounts. Not all of them, but enough. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Pretty wild day overall. The big fall that happened right in gold and then took everything else down. Although we had some weak economic reports. Good bond release. But before we get started, I want to remind everybody this broadcast is for educational purposes only. And the opinions expressed are going to be those of the guy on the mic right here. All trades presented should be considered hypothetical and should not be expected to be replicated in a live trading account. So let me first show you the series of accounts that I can no longer trade. Okay, so in those accounts up there, I have about a $250 daily risk budget. So I keep them really, really tight because they're 50,000s and they are also static accounts. Okay, so static accounts only have about a $2,000 balance, even when you build some profits in them, right? I don't care about that. I always look at the static. So I keep them about $200, $250. So that's it. That's all you do. I'm not really strong at this mental game of trying to figure out how to get people to snap out of it. If that happens, you hit the close button, you go over here to your orders, and you cancel all your orders. Okay, I wanted to leave those orders out there. They were way away from price, okay? You cancel all your orders. You make sure you're not in any more positions. You can keep this up, but why do that? You go ahead and disconnect. You disconnect over here. You hit the you hit this X and you X out of it, right? And then you're left with a live account there that I've made $10 in. Okay, we're gonna come back over to the main screen over here, show you the status of what's going on over here. Here it's a mixed bag because I have the same situation going on. I have 3 PAs, and this is usually the opposite of what the case would be. 3 PAs with $600 DRBs, which I've hit, and they're done. And then I have a number of other accounts that have either much larger or whatever, and I'm still trading those. Those happen to be mostly on the eval side. Then I have a series of accounts here that are profitable, so I will still trade some little pullbacks if we have them here, as you'll see in just a moment. Looks like we're going to get the Nazi to come in a little bit. Nazi's been fantastic on the downside, giving us a lot of nice little two-way action. Everything has been moving pretty nicely today. S&P, Dow Jones, Bitcoin, gold. A little bit of something for everybody. So we'll see if we get a fill here. God, what are you guys doing over on this chat? You're just blowing it up. Ryan, you got to settle down, dude. Let's settle down. Settle down. We're going to have to throttle the amount of comments we can make. All right. If there are any other comments so far as we just get started, but anyhow, I don't have a lot more to add in terms of how to deal with losses. What we do with losses is we hit the close button. Well, first and foremost, we establish a reasonable amount that can be lost, right? If anyone's following any of my content, this is the most important thing, not your strategy. Nothing that you see on the charts. The only thing that matters is understanding how to calculate a reasonable amount of session loss. And then once you have that, you can back into how you want to handle per trade loss. And again, this applies to small account trading, which is what the prop programs are, and it applies to active intraday trading. Okay, if you come into my trade room, you see that I don't sit on my hands or place one trade each 90 minutes. That's fine. It's just a very different style, and I don't think many people are going to learn unless there's a few more at-bats, if you will. Okay. How'd you guys do today? Everything was fine until it wasn't, right? There's that old saying, how do you go broke? How do you go broke when as a millionaire or whatever? Or it's slowly and then all at once. That's what it felt like today. How do you kind of ruin your day? Slowly and then all at once, right? Yeah. So if you're just joining, I showed the accounts that I've hit my DRB in. Oh, let me show you this these live trades over here, because this has been a bit of a mess as well. At one point, I was damn near close to down $1,500, and I might still get there. I try to keep the losses in this live account at around 1,500. I've been on a really good run here. My Kerpos over here is a total mixed bag. So I'm short the ZB. Really, really strong 30-year bond auction, and rates are coming in now. Might need to already refinance the place I just bought. No, I don't think I'll do that. So I'm short the ZB. I'm long Bitcoin. I'm long the Dow Jones. I'm long the MES, and I'm long the MNQ. And as you can see from the daily P&L here, these are pretty bad. Now, what this interface doesn't show is all the profits, and there were a fair amount of profits today too, in gold and in gold, I guess only in gold. Oh, and I had a long ZN in there before I ended up shorting the ZB. So we're down about $1,000 today. We hit a new equity high yesterday. And I'll probably have to lighten this all up if we get the kind of close that I'm expecting, which is probably a little bit of a weak close, but I'm wrong all the time. So maybe we don't get a weak close. Do we want to have a poll? Are we going to get a weak close and revisit the lows, or? Yeah, I did pretty well. I did call around 49 700s. Also said that the NASDAQ had a look of a 500 or 600 point down day. I think at the max we were down maybe 450. The way I interpreted it was sort of mechanics when lots of gold selling just flushed this gold market here, right? So I'm resting orders to buy some gold down here. But we flushed it just right at 4,900, right? Somehow I managed to make $300 or $400 in all this mess right here. But again, back to the theme. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You get yourself into a position where there's nothing that really hurts, so to speak. Nothing really hurts. I'm going to close this right here. And just rest an order way down here at the -2s.
Order submitted.
Okay. So I came in essentially resting orders long the MES. I'm not resting any orders here. Let me get some Dow Jones orders on. I will buy a pullback back to the -1s, and then essentially some structure over here. The only trades I did here near the end of the day were right here, as you can see, bought, covered. So bought right here, covered right here. So we'll just sit and wait. If you didn't check out yesterday's stream, there's a whole middle part where I actually did some full overview of how to use these strategies properly, which is side by side, so that when you're trading anything, you're looking at the 30-minute time frame at the same time that you're looking at the trading time frame, which for me on TradingView is 5-minute chart over here for stay in your lane, and then the 30-minute here. Now, you guys see the extreme turn buy. It kind of got you done, sort of, but this has been treacherous down here. What'll be key for the bulls is if we can get a break above, close above the visible range profile here of around the visible range POC of around 24,888. That's what we need. We need this candle to close above it and then to stay above it. If we do there, then it's a pretty decent probability that we hold. If not, I could see a real scare the children undercut move into the close. If I'm not in anything, I want to stay pretty light here. And even, oops, let me just get rid of that. Even as I'm looking at this, I'd much rather not be buying lows of session. So I'm just going to remove that. I already have 2 lots in all of the indices. So essentially we got exposure to about a half a mini. So we can just sit and watch this position. Smackdown for the Russell as well today. And again, the extreme turn kind of got you done. I mean, you didn't even really need the extreme turn. What you had to do is just sit out these expansive candles and then buy on the open of the next candle. It works more often than not. Here you see the extreme turn condition come off. There's a long. I mean, we're not talking about much, 20 or 30 points in the Russell after it's down almost 2% today. It's been a while since we've had a Russell down day of like 3% or 4% because the Russell can do that. The small caps can be down 3, 4, 5% just as easily as they can be up. I don't know what you guys want to watch over here or if you care. I guess we can just watch the S&P. Good news is on a 5-minute, we did manage to get a slightly higher high on this cycle, but not sure that matters all that much. I'd love to see the ZB come in a little bit before the end of the day. Just place an order right here.
Order filled. 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 Order filled.
There you go. So someone just went short off a 9 EMA. So I don't teach those as much, but you could definitely find some. You can find some nice two-way action today, both long and short, even when we're down quite a bit. The Nasdaq on over here has been so sellable when it gets back up into. Well, first of all, you have a bunch of stuff going on here, right? So if you have the POC right there. You're back in the middle of the muck. So congratulations, that's a nice trade. I lost $75 to buy after we reached 100% 7. Now I have one lot open on MYM targeting VWAP. Okay. VWAP's a pretty extended target. I don't draw these channels and stuff in very often, but just be cautious here. You know, we kind of break there. Certainly want the risk budget to buy down here if we get back in the bid zone, but if you got a nice price, just it's not a day where you're looking for major extended targets unless you have a lot of profits in the position. All right, so someone lost their funded account today. Plan B, are you in my trading group? We got to hold you more accountable. There's just no way to ever, especially if you're close. I'm sorry to hear that, man, but I'm assuming you're a man. But we got to stop that. Establish, protect, respect a daily risk budget. In fact, I should bring the, let me just bring this account back up and I'll log back in because I think it's important just to leave this on the screen and look at it. Okay, so
Order filled.
okay, so okay, so these accounts should come up in just a minute. That's it. So I'm sorry to hear about that, but if you said you were finally getting it, the only way you could really blow up in a single day is you had way too much size on or you're trading minis. And if you're trading minis, it's never going to work. Ever. It will never work. So anyway, sorry to hear that. You guys keep saying blowing accounts. How is this happening? You're not blowing accounts. You're blowing accounts if you're, I don't know what you're doing. I'm going to gaslight some of you guys right now. Stop it. Stop trading if this is happening. There's no blowing these accounts. Why are you doing that to yourself? Put a $250 daily risk budget on a $2,000 or $3,000 account. It doesn't matter where you buy or what you bought. Just hit the close button. Why is everyone making this so difficult? Some of you are like, fuck that. I'm not going to comment in this guy's stream anymore. No, stop doing it. Why are you doing this? Here's the Trade-Evate ones. $200, hit the close button. So it's one thing to say you blow up because it's not consistent, everybody. It's the same thing as why people complain about trailing drawdown. Is an end of day drawdown better? Yes. Is it more realistic? But if you're the type of trader who has a trade that's $500 in profit or $300 in profit, if you only have a DRB of $300 or $1,000 in profit and you let it come all the way back down, what the F? No. So stop equating, hey, I do this or this trade F's me up or this type of day messes me up. Is this a day where many people will hit their DRB? Sure. Is this maybe a week where you might have hit your DRB twice? Sure. But here is here's my results from about 30 PAs, right? And then today I will lose because I lost, I don't know, $1,000 and $1,000 in another account, probably down 2,000 or 3,000 today. So what? Up 6,000 on the week. Now, is this a very large loss? 6,600 is 5,300 a very large loss? It's all relative because I'm capable and you will eventually be capable of having $13,000 days or whatever it is. Your math is going to vary. Your numbers might be much, much smaller than this. But in no instance should you ever have a day that's large enough to take you out. You shouldn't even have a trade that's large enough to take you out. If you have a trade that's eating into half of your DRB, just hit the close button. And if you're incapable of not buying more, or the challenge with a lot of mean reversion strategies is they set themselves up for this illusion of there's more levels. There's no more levels for you if you're near your DRB or exceeding it. All right, so I'm going to come back to this screen for a second, and we're not going to trade anymore. We're just going to sit and stare at this screen. That's it. No orders resting, nothing pending. Do you know how easy it will be to come back from days like this? Do you know how often you're going to get a stream where I even have this on the screen? 1 out of every 30 sessions, maybe. Anyway, congratulations to those that manage risk well today. Right, so Razzy's saying what he does. There is such a tendency to talk about mechanics, and I get it, to talk about the mechanics. Yesterday was an important day to point out that we have to figure out how to see and execute around the opportunities that were available yesterday on the long side. Look at gold keep tanking. Makes me want to get in some over here. Yep, I'll get in where I get in. So we need another, I need another 926 bucks or so. So you know the typical thing in trading communities and everything is when someone's showing profitable days, how did you do it? How are you doing it? What are you doing it? What's your strategy? What's your sizing? What's your loss? What's your stop loss? What's your target? What's all these other things? I wish that more often, well, we have a lot of great traders in our group that lead with this one fact. How is it working or why is it working? Because I just protect my DRB on the bad days. And then the good days, it just works. Maybe they do something similar to the strategies I teach. Maybe they take a short off a 9 EMA to the downside on a strong move lower in the afternoon. It doesn't matter what your strategy is. If you're incapable, what's been difficult in the proliferation of these prop programs is for me to be able to tell the difference between behaviors, because there's a lot of people out there that are actually teaching, oh, it's a completely different game. Just treat the prop programs like silliness and buy this amount and blow this amount and do this and do that and trade huge and trade 2 different firms in 2 different directions, or here's all the ways you can manipulate it. Oh, but by the way, I'm a professional trader and I don't do anything like that in my live accounts. Okay, maybe. Or it's a completely different game. If you believe it and make it a completely different game, you're going to spend way too much money, way too much time, and waste all of your money and time in the prop programs if you don't treat it the same as a $2,500 or $3,000 account. Now, are there going to be a small percentage of participants in these programs that will manage to spin somehow while still staying in the programs without getting kicked out from an Apex or whatever and make an actual lot of money? Sure, but don't optimize for that. That's not you, and it's a very small percentage of the community. So instead of listening to anything about the two being different, if you truly believe that you would deposit $2,500 or $3,000 or $5,000 in a live account and you would just dust it all on a single trade saying that it was a bad day, or a series of trades saying, oh, it was a bad day, deer in the headlights, then if that's truly you, then maybe you should only be in prop programs and just dust off less money in terms of subscriptions and resets and blown accounts and blown account fees and whatever else you can manage to spend money on over there. But it doesn't have to be the case. And please don't listen to anybody who wants to tell you that you can work differently in both environments, because the math isn't mathin'. Pass fast is not a strategy. I mean, it's not. There's some new lows in the. Oh yeah, so on the Taurus thing, we had to make some small changes last night or whatever, and then I got to go hit some golf balls. I got a massage. I will get it out later this afternoon. So those that don't know, we're going to do a competition with a firm called Taurus Arena. It's going to be a $66 entry fee. You're going to get three $50,000 accounts that you could actually qualify for funding on if you'd like. Going to give away about 1,000 or a little bit more in some prizes, credits to the platform, as well as real live cash. Yeah, Lenny say you got to trade the prop accounts like you trade the personal. Not only that, the full cycle, the evaluation. Take your time, size it the same, take the same entries, journal about how you got through it. Maybe it takes you a few weeks when you're more qualified and more experienced. Maybe it takes you a few months when you're not. But it's a heck of a lot easier than once you're in those funded accounts to just do the exact same thing. And if you go into a small drawdown, you've been through that before. You can recover. I mentioned the other day, I'm getting a little bummed when I see a lot of screenshots, not a lot, but a fair amount of screenshots in my community of people that are in deep drawdown in these evals. If you're in deep drawdown in your evals, you will eventually get into deep drawdown in your funded accounts. If you allow yourself to go into a deep drawdown in any type of account and tell yourself that that's just part of trading, drawdowns are part of investing because you are holding positions for the long term and prices will fluctuate. Deep drawdowns are not part of active intraday trading. If you are listening to anyone who's telling you that, they're full of shit, or they don't know what they're doing, or they have a much larger account and they're not truly managing risk on a per session basis. So I'm going to give you the formula again. Do not risk more than 10% of your starting account balance. If it's a brand new account, that's your drawdown. If you grow a $2,500 account up to $3,000, in other words, you cover your drawdown and now you're $500 in profit, you can increase your daily risk budget to $300 if you'd like. Rather than that, I would suggest that you do not increase your daily risk budget until the average of your 4 or 5 best days over the course of 20, 25 trading sessions exceed your DRB. Because if they don't, you are not producing risk-adjusted returns. You're producing returns, which is fine, because you're staying within your DRB. But if you do not exceed that on multiple days, you're going to have a hard time making any progress. Mr. Tactical Reviews is agreeing with me. Okay, I've been rambling for a while. If there's any questions that I can answer, because all I'm going to do is stay on these accounts right here, and there's no trading for me. Because in my Bullinox Master accounts and my static accounts at Blue Sky, I am at my DRB. I can come over here because I'm not at my DRB here yet, but I'm getting pretty close. So it's very, very possible I'm going to have to lighten some of these positions here. If the ZB doesn't come in and it stays bid at 107.9, then Gold got down to 49.32s on this little cycle swing. Yeah, boss has a 100K real account, trades small. That's one of the tracking accounts that I have here on the screen is this 40,000. But I have a couple other accounts connected here all the time. This one has $7,000 in it. I trade the 7,000 and the 40,000 exactly the same way. Now, in my six-figure accounts, I am putting on more size, but it's in the options markets on futures, which I've discussed a little bit. But for this sort of, you could have probably controlled some of the movement today, but if you had any kind of size on directionally in the wrong direction today, you did get wrecked. These positions here, yes, I will have some positions on in this account. This is truly a swing account. But I've earned the right to do it. Let me show you here. Okay, so I'm gonna log in here to that one of these. I have a lot of accounts in Interactive Brokers, but let me log in. So month to date, the account's up the account's up $11,000. I grew it to a little bit, almost this size, and then took about 12 or 13,000 out, and we're up 11,000 again. You can go back to the stream that I did on February 2nd or 3rd, the night of when gold was just all over the shop, and it was down at around 28. So I will hold these positions in this account, some of them. Okay. But swing trading is not necessary, meaning holding positions through the close or what have you. There's a lot of people that have fooled themselves into thinking that they somehow need to do that. You know why it is? So they can hold their unprofitable positions. Most of these positions that I'm still holding are unprofitable. But a lot of day traders, that's the definition of a swing trade. It's a day trade gone wrong. I mentioned this morning, I don't really understand exactly what swing trading is. It's never really been defined for me. Is that 3 days? Is it 5 days? In my opinion, if you hold an asset for longer than a few days, you're just a short-term investor in that asset. I get it. There's a lot of options traders think of themselves as swing traders if they're putting on some positions and then trying to get the theta decay or whatever their strategy happens to be, and they hold on average for the entire month once they put the position on. So I don't know. That doesn't really feel like trading to me, or swing trading. Anyhow, whatever. It's just semantics. So someone had a small G today. By the way, if you don't know what that terminology means, we talk about our P&L and EC scores, because this is how we actually measure things. So P&L is P&L, right? But our P&L is based on what our risk budget is. So if your daily risk budget is $300 and you were up $210, you had a small G day. If you're up $300 or $350, you had a big G day. So it's G, G, R, and R. Now, your only job as a trader is you cannot have a big R day. So when I hear about people getting wrecked and blowing up their accounts and all these other things, that's not only one big R day, that's probably a series of big R days. And I don't care if you're a monkey with a wiffle ball bat or whatever, all these different types of ways of determining the randomness of a camel spitting at the screen and determining the instrument and the direction. Have you seen that guy? There's a funny guy on social media that lets a chicken kind of pick his trades. You could 1,000% let a chicken pick the instrument and the direction. And if you abided by a daily risk budget, and I don't even care how you're managing the trades, you don't have to have any stop or any target. Like, let's say you had the chicken selected at the same time every day, the chicken selected the instrument and the chicken selected the direction, and then you put that trade on, properly sized, whatever that might be, a couple contracts. You need zero trade management. You'd have to close it when it hits the DRB or close it at the end of whatever your trading session is. Or there'll actually be a few time. If you have a 90-minute or 2-hour trading session that you normally do, if it hits the DRB before that, it's closed. If you're done with your trading session and it hasn't hit target or DRB, you still close it. Are you ready for this? You will not lose $2,500 with a $250 DRB. Ever. Some people are going to not think that that's true. Nope, it is. Because if you actually implemented that, there will be a random day, maybe one out of every 15 or 20 sessions, where that 2 or 3 lot that the chicken picked is going to make you way more money than you typically would make if you truly followed that mechanically. All you have to do to succeed in this enterprise is not lose money. I'm going to sit here and stream every frickin' day until that message is ingrained. Someone's saying unless you suck so bad that you lose $250 10 days in a row, you mean never win? Yeah, if you're doing that, then not only you suck, you're just not even doing anything. You're not using the randomness of markets. I guess there are people that can manage to lose that many times.
Order filled. Order filled.
Guys, the flipping coins and stuff is not the same as the market. Okay, you have to understand math and how probabilities work. Okay. Now it's okay if you said if you flip the coin, it's a certain amount of. It just doesn't work in markets because the outcome of 10 trades in a row, properly sized. Even with randomness, of course, we're not accounting for anything that would have to do with potential probabilities or something that might give you a small edge in terms of your entry. I'll tell you, if you did it with one contract in the Dow Jones, it would be nearly impossible. Nearly impossible. Anyway. That's right. Best loser wins. Best loser wins. Frickin' ZB. All right. Bitcoin back down, and I will get one more Bitcoin here at the close if it ends up looking like Bitcoin's going to close really weak as well.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right, we're at a risk of going underneath 40,000 after hitting a new equity high. Not over here. No trades. It's kind of nice not caring at all about what's going to happen, right?
Order filled.
About you just don't care at all.
Order submitted. Order filled.
I am closing a few small shorts that I had in some other stuff.
Order filled. Order submit. Order filled.
Dow Jones giving it all up. S&P giving it all up. See if we do get down to the -2s. Now, the best way to resist the temptation of getting back in when you're at your DRB, of course, is to not have your accounts connected any longer. But I'm going to sit here and just watch this along with you. I do want to get in a gold position here, but awesome. A couple of you are
order filled. Order filled.
Oh, I didn't lose any of them. They're all connected to a different connection. So all the rhythmic ones are still there. These are the 5 that I've had from on Trade-Of-8. I don't connect to rhythmic anymore on NinjaTrader from Apex because I have 3 or 4 new firms and I'm trading like Blue Sky and stuff, so I connect to their rhythmic connection. But good question. Most of the props won't. You can still trade some gold you can still trade micros at a number of places, but I think Apex has shut all gold down, including micros. All right, I am long over here. I'm long in a live account near the close, and I'm going to attach one order down here to the -2s. You can see a trade here. We'll see what happens.
Order filled. Order filled.
There's our market on close orders.
Order canceled.
Uh-oh. I bought Bitcoin too. I didn't realize I had a Bitcoin order resting here. So long Bitcoin, long the MES. So this account is small enough that it won't even allow me to rest an ad here in the MES. So I'm just going to close this Bitcoin.
Order filled.
And I do want to rest in order to buy the -2s into the close.
Order submitted. Order filled.
I don't know if I'll have enough time. This account, I'm always flat at the end of the day. I don't know if I'll have enough time to get up there to the 68.83s, but that would be target on this. If I can get another add at 68.29s, then it sets up nicely for ability to scale around it. You can trade full-size metals at Lucid. All right, well, that's right. I take profit. I only trade micros, so I don't know which ones allow you to do micros versus minis or what have you, but good to know.
Order filled.
Now, the question is that, and I go through this same thing because I find it a fun intellectual exercise a little bit. I don't know if it's intellectual at all, is, okay, what about tomorrow? Do they finally really scare the kids tomorrow? Or is it a snapback and we get back half or everything that was lost today? And we go into the weekend and everyone's long and feels good again. Now you can, I'm going to run a little sell stop here. So,
Order submitted.
And just protect my profits. So what do you think? Do we have a vote for tomorrow? Right? I could see anything. I could see it both ways. But if you look at the internals of the markets today, it's the same story. Software's getting hurt. Crypto's down. The metals came down today. But look at the storage companies like Seagate and stuff. My God, who in the hell is buying stuff like SanDisk? Who in the hell is buying SanDisk? I am just completely dumbfounded in that.
Order filled.
Who is buying that? So you think long tomorrow, right? I mean, obviously I don't know, it's random, but I do know that it should be a fun day because we have a big range to work off of today. And if you lost some money today, I'm not going to stream tomorrow, and there's no guarantees. I can guarantee things for myself. I can guarantee that in these accounts tomorrow, I'm going to make money. I will not lose tomorrow in these accounts.
Order filled.
All right. All out. Cancel this. And now I can buy the little flush to end the day if we get it. You guys have seen me do this before, right? I'm just going to attach this to the -2s. Is it silly? Yes, but is it respecting? This is a real $5,700. So that's what I did today there. Stayed out of all this nonsense, just decided to trade only the prop programs today. Had one live order on over there. SanDisk has gone ballistic. Can I reach out to Apex and say, can we trade at least 2 micros on gold? I have as close to no pull at Apex, literally none. You can thank me for the 30% maximum adverse excursion, which everyone hates. I wanted it to be 20. So they listened to me on that. But I have no pull, so I'm sorry. You're on your own. You're on your own, kids. You're on your own, kids. Nazi pushing a little bit. Off the 730s. Target on Nazi longs would be right here. It's very simple. You got 24,009. I'd be really surprised if we got there in the extended hours here.
Order submitted.
All right, one more minute. Did I miss any questions today? Remember, the theme for today was establish, protect, respect your DRB. I hit mine for the first time in quite a while. Locks me out of all the accounts where it applies. As you guys grow as traders, you're probably going to have all types of things you could potentially be trading. You might have several live accounts that you haven't participated in. Look, there's always ways to continue to go to take advantage of days like this after the original move that might have taken you out. Does this make sense what I'm saying? I mean, if you respect your DRB in all of your accounts and you trade different accounts at different times, they're not all going to be at that same status. Unless, of course, you're just using a copier and going full throttle across everything that you do. All right, let's go, baby. What's happening? Yeah, boring close so far. All right, everybody. I think that will be it for today. If you haven't already and you're interested, plenty of ways that you can find out more about the trading group, which is tradersdevgroup.com. Tradersdevgroup.com. Right here. You go to try TDG. Come on in here. Okay, I want to answer this question because this is an important question. Someone's saying, have you passed evaluations or earned payout using just the range trader or whatever? Okay, really important. All right, really important. You need. Oh, I grabbed I grabbed the wrong chart. Hold on. Let me grab this. I'm going to answer this question because this one's important. Okay, so this is very important, all right? You are trading both at the same time. You are referencing both at the same time. So I'm not passing or doing anything in any of the accounts only on stay in your lane or only on range trader. I only use the range trader for treasury trading. I don't have any stay in your lane or anything for treasury trading, but I'm not doing any treasury trading for the most part in any of these prop programs. So we are leaving both these charts. I showed this yesterday, okay? You need them to be both sitting right next to each other. Does that make sense, everybody? Both. And you start your day with the range trader. You start your day with these range trader levels. And yes, today is a outside day down day where we've shifted pretty dramatically. Now we have the T-line starting to slope down. It will be very interesting to see what we're dealing with tomorrow. We will likely start maybe a little outside day down again, but remember, tomorrow the lows of the day are going to be 49,500 right here. A good 1,000 points from the highs that we were at just yesterday. And, it's 1,000 points from the highs that we were at today. So 1,000 point swing. Anyway, Their two strategies are symbiotic. Please use them together. If you're following my stuff, if you're a member of the group or what have you, we're using stay in your lane tactically as entries, but we have both charts up at the same time, right? Capiche? We got it? Cool. So someone uses range trader and then only stay in your lane as confluence or whatever. But please have them both up, and please, please, please understand that the range trader supersedes the stay in your lane overall and informs what you're doing on stay in your lane. Because this number right here, this is important, okay? This number right here, which is 1,028, right? What we're going to have tomorrow is we're going to wake up, and by the time we're ready to trade at around 8:30 or 9 Central Standard Time tomorrow, we're going to have all the range from the reopen tonight, and we'll see how much of what is the ATR now, 700. It's going to be bigger because we did 1,000 today. It might be around 760 tomorrow, somewhere in there. Okay, so do we trade overnight up or down or somewhere another 300 or 400 points so we can start tomorrow with a 50% range? If not, we're at least going to have a very big range that we can think about. All right, that'll be it. Stay green, trade like you mean it. See you at the next one.